The disgusting, demonic, fake president in the White House, Joe Let's Destroy America Biden, has declared Easter as Trans Visibility Day. This is a blatant slap in the face to the very foundations of America. That was founded, yes, on freedom of religion, but primarily founded on the freedom to practice a Protestant Christianity. This president, or I should say traitor, should be beheaded, not elected. Now, this is an election year, and Joe Biden doesn't have anything to run on. He has no successes in his 4-year administration. They try to say that Bidenomics is working, but I'm about to show you how well Bidenomics is working, or not working, depending on how you want to look at it. The Biden administration has been indoctrinating our children into homosexual lifestyles through the schools, literally grooming them to be primed for child molestation. But it's not pedophilia anymore. It's minor attracted persons. And some states are actually moving to legalize pedophilia, basically because their leadership are pedophiles. Because they're elected officials who are Democrats. Are as demonic as the pedophiles that are already in prison, if they haven't been killed, because that's what actually happens to a pedophile in prison. So, go through the next clip. Count the tens. This is a 2-block radius that you're about to see. 2 blocks. In North Portland, and Bidenomics is working. The left says that Bidenomics is working, but all you have to do is step outside your house and take a look around. The bulk of the people that happen to be living in these tents were displaced thanks to Democrat policies regarding the southern border. This is the reality of Biden's successful lack of administration. Yeah. Come on, guys. I'm on a new assignment for work, and I'm checking out the situation, just trying to figure out where basic things are, like a place to get my lunch and stuff like that. And I am really surprised to see. I knew this was pretty much the case with Portland anyway. But I just traveled walked about 20 blocks, still have not found a convenience store. Okay, this is significant because it's the little mom and pop operations, the local convenience stores that keep tabs on what's going on in the neighborhood for the police. It's the little stores that provide jobs for the youth. And I just traveled like 20 blocks and I haven't seen one of them. And I'm beginning to understand why my boss says that this is a seedy area. So I'm going to be looking into why this area doesn't have any small businesses. This is a liberal city, very liberal city. Wait for the ambulance. He literally turned on his siren just to get through the traffic. Scumbag. This is a very liberal city, and the people might actually appreciate the little store, but those that they elect tend to want to go with big corporate because big corporate is lining their pockets. So I want to find out if for some reason there are restrictions in building permits, restrictions in small business permits in these areas, to see if things could actually change. I think it's very important. "21 blocks later, on the corner of Interstate and Going, there's actually a Plaid Pantry. Guys, this is exactly why we have poverty in these areas. Exactly why. I've got to look it up. I've got to find out if the city is doing something to actually limit, because Plaid Pantry is actually big corporate. Even in little Chinatown in downtown Portland, you do not have the small mom and pop operations anymore. This is busy problems that encourages homelessness and even creates the problems that the Democrats are trying to claim to fight, even though they're causing it. Okay, today I am going west to east, just looking for any sustainable stores that are not corporate that could possibly sustain this neighborhood. I am very disappointed to see that in 3 blocks I've counted 24 taverns. 1 ice cream parlor, but I'm not even sure if the ice cream parlor is open. and one marijuana dispensary. This neighborhood is literally designed to destroy its own economy. And I'll get into that later. But this is disturbing. And tarps set up to be used as a tent are commonplace in this neighborhood. Now, this was probably the case before Biden, but it's definitely the case during Biden's reign. I did find a small Vietnamese food mart, which is encouraging. I went in to the Asian market, and it's fresh food, decent prices, family owned, which is exactly what this neighborhood needs. And right now I'm standing in front of Elk Cleaners and Laundry, which is another family-owned business, but I'm not sure it's opened. The parking lot is empty. This is the front door of Elk Cleaners and Laundry. It is definitely closed. So I have walked basically out of the neighborhood, and those three family-owned businesses, well, two, because the laundry is out of business, were the only ones in the neighborhood. I cannot stress enough how important it is that small businesses stay alive in this economy. Get ready for this. This is an unfinished, soon-to-be $2,000 a month apartment. What the hell is going on in our society? This is the same apartment that I showed you. It's coming along a little bit more. This is your only closet space. The bathroom, that's going to be a shower, a sink, obviously a toilet space. They put the door on. We have a sink. And two outlets here. This might actually be the range, but I've never seen a range like this. A spot for the refrigerator. Okay. No washer, no dryer. And that's all you get for $2,000. And I'm still iffy about this spot being the range. So We have a sink, but possibly no way to cook anything. Okay, I'm working as a security guard on the graveyard shift on a construction site for an apartment building. These next clips are actually what I'm seeing every day, and I think you need to pay attention to it. When Klaus Schwab said that you will own nothing and you will be happy, well, the first part of it is coming to fruition, and it's going to start in the cities. So, yeah, pay attention to these next clips. There is a definite contrast in the two administrations that we have recently seen. 4 years before this pompous airbag of a brain dead pile of shit was selected into office, who is so corrupt that and incompetent at the same time, that he is immune to prosecution, and yet the 25th Amendment is not invoked. His very existence in the White House illustrates the sheer corruption in Washington, D.C. With his 4 years, as I have shown you, we have businesses closing, record highs for homelessness. Unemployment isn't even a valid number anymore because people have just given up trying to look. And that's just the beginning. If we look at how he was installed in the first place, we have to see that every Democrat city and state that was involved in the conspiracy, and no conservative that actually believes that Trump won the election denies that this was a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy fact. That they were able to work like a well-oiled machine because they had practiced it and recited what would happen in their head so many times during the previous 4 years while Trump was in office, because they hated that man so much. The corruption bears witness to itself by Joe Biden's existence in the White House. Now let's look at Donald Trump, where the corrupt state has been trying to indict him for whatever made up petty crime that they can think of. Basically, since he came down the golden elevator in Trump Tower in 2016. Even before that, they were that afraid of him even before he became president. And then when they realized that he actually was a force to be reckoned with politically, they came up with the coronavirus. The contrast between the two administrations is seen in honesty, integrity, and honor. Joe Biden has none. Many of the administrative operators within Donald Trump's cabinet turned out to have none. But those that were closest to him still stand by him today. Honest men keep honest men with them. Joe Biden has no loyal allies, and you might want to think about why.
I just like the man in general. I like what he does, but I really like the fact that he has not been trying to be politically correct. Donald Trump told the truth when he said we should stop the Muslims from coming to this country until we get a handle on this terrorist problem and that we have here. I think that mainstream America agrees with that. Not that we're trying to be mean-spirited to anybody, but you got to protect yourself and your own. And I think mainstream America sees that. It's been very difficult to make money here as a small business person under the Obama administration. Matter of fact, I've lost money just about every year. The world's going to see America with a president that stands up and tells you what he believes and what he believes in. I think that you're going to see a large part of the world say, hey, we respect that.
I love to win. Don't we love to win? When you win, it's beautiful.
We're ready for a change. And we're ready to move away from mainstream politics. And yes, he's a little arrogant at times. And yes, he comes off the collar with some things that I don't necessarily like to hear said. But at the end of the day, he's the man. He's the person I think that can turn this country back around and make it great again.
What would it take for you to vote for Trump?
Oh, that is just the most adorable question, and you looked me in my eye and everything. Wow.
What would it take for you to vote for Trump?
A lobotomy. Complete lobotomy.
What would it take for me to vote for Trump?
It's not even funny.
Is that a legit question?
I have to be like a white man in America to vote for Donald Trump, and probably then I still wouldn't.
Yeah, no, hell to the no.
Is it like a life or death situation?
I'm not even trying to be funny, but it's just like,
no, what could I ever, how, that's not even, what?
What would it take for you to vote for Trump?
He ain't that bright. I mean, his vocabulary, for heaven's sake.
When he speaks, I feel like it's a fifth grader who hasn't been coached on how to publicly speak. No, that's rude. Fifth graders are way more intelligent than that.
Wow, what would it take? What would it take?
You gotta use your imagination.
I really gotta use my imagination. There isn't one. There is no circumstance.
Like, he would have to be a completely different person. How about that?
Immoral pedophile. Sexist. A-hole. Cheeto man.
What would it take for you to vote for Trump?
I don't see myself voting for Trump.
I hold my values way too deep. That's
No.
Can you think of any scenario?
I cannot think of any policies, procedures that he could do that I could trust.
Y'all don't have to steal my vote.
Donald Trump is the epitome of whiteness. He is the promise of whiteness. If you are male, if you are wealthy, if your skin is very, very light, you can have whatever you want. I'm completely opposed to that.
You know, that's one situation that hypotheticals just really can't come into the picture.
It would have to be life or death, or somebody's in danger.
I'm nothing.
Trump is just not it. He's not hot, y'all. I'm sorry.
Are we talking about reality or magical thinking?
What do you mean magical thing?
Magical thinking, he's a whole completely different person with a different background and everything.
Give me reality.
Reality, no. There is nothing he can do.
How can anyone, and I mean anyone, even understand anything that's coming out of his mouth?
I feel like he made a bet with his friends. Like, oh, watch, I could run for president. And then he actually won, and he was like, oh shit, it worked. And here we are.
Nothing can make me vote for Trump.
I don't think that's possible.
I wouldn't.
Jesus himself would literally have to walk into my voting booth and say, Sydney, do it for me. Jesus would.
Some of my family has voted for Trump and are big supporters. Oh yeah. Veterans, Mexicans, whatever. Still voting for Trump.
What would it take you to vote for Trump?
Death. Literally, fear of death would take me to vote for Trump. You'd have to be holding a gun to my new grandchild's head.
Nothing.
United States Army, the Russian Army, electric chair, gas chamber, hell, high water.
I don't know if I have the creative imagination to describe what it would take.
Like, no.
I can't do that.
No way in the hell.
Hell no!
You would have to show me live video feed every person that I know and love sitting underneath a nuclear bomb and somebody's finger was about to press the trigger. And even then, I might have to go, guys, I'm sorry, everybody, I love y'all, but...
In all seriousness, if he was like, yo, I'm gonna make public all the information on the alien, I may have to. I love some aliens. I can't wait for the aliens to get here.
Wannabe fascist, white supremacist, pussy snatching, there's too many things to say. I don't want it. Whatever the fuck it is, I don't want it.
There's absolutely no way.
I honestly think that if Trump gets another 4 years, like, the fabric of our, like, democracy is, like, at risk of deteriorating.
Right now, it's impossible for me to vote for someone who is the antithesis in terms of values.
I don't think he respects people, period.
What would it take for you to vote for Trump?
Nothing. What? I don't even know what that question means.
Oh God, you would, Lord.
If the choice was between vote for him or shoot me, I got life insurance.
So what would it take for you to vote for Trump?
What? I have no answer for that.
I would rather die.
Not happening.
Trump is a businessman. He's not a president. He is not the one for the job.
I wouldn't vote for him.
Can't believe you asked me that. There ain't nothing I can do to vote. I mean, I cannot.
The fuck?
No amount of money?
No, I'm not voting for that crazy man.
What if we gave you like $50,000?
I ain't voting for him for no $50,000.
He does not listen, see us. I think he just sees himself.
It doesn't matter if there's no one running against him. I will write myself in the ballot. Vote for Aaliyah.
I don't think anything would make me vote for Trump.
I would never. I ain't never voting for Trump.
Nothing. I would never do that because I love myself. And I would want other people around to love themselves as well.
I would vote for Trump if the election was, who do you want to lose?
There's a stain on us, right? It's gonna take a whole
In the end, it doesn't matter how many wokey, leftist, queerbait teachers, LGBTQ infinite alphabet bullshit artists don't like Trump. The fact is, the people that grow the food, grow the crops, raise your beef, and keep this country going, they're the ones that really have a say in the matter. The leftist feminist may be louder, but whether or not those trucks move says whether or not your city is actually going to have enough food to eat. And that's how a revolution starts. If Obama 2.0, also known as Joe Let's Fuck Up America Biden, gets elected again, I should say selected, we know they cheated. And the trucks will not move. There will be blood in the streets. Currently, the left is going off about a piece of artwork that was painted on into the tailgate of a truck. Probably meant as a joke. I would have been dead serious, but probably meant as a joke. It was of Joe Biden hogtied and gagged in the back of a truck. I wouldn't bother hogtying him. I would have just killed him. But that's okay. Each his own. Every pedophile deserves a chance to live. I say maybe a 30-second head start before I put a bullet in his head. And I'm not kidding. So yeah, we've got a lot of work to do. But there is hope. And every Trump rally for the past 7 years has illustrated how much hope America still has in our country.
He changes everything. He needs to get back in.
He gets stuff done.
He's about America. He puts America first. He gets the job done.
We got to be united, and that's what Trump wants. He wants a united America.
Hundreds of conversations with Trump supporters across Iowa and New Hampshire over 7 months. And what have I learned? The people who love him really love him.
Donald Trump is great. He picks on a lot of people. Get over it.
And through all those interviews, I kept hearing a lot of the same things over and over. Trump fans are laser focused on the economy, immigration policy, and feel an overwhelming sense of injustice. Like Nicholas Dagnall, an 18-year-old high school senior from Franklin, New Hampshire.
He's a businessman, and at the end of the day, America is a business and should be run like a business.
Despite low unemployment, below 4% for almost 2 years, Americans are still feeling the impact of inflation. I first met Virgil Thornston, a Navy veteran, at a barbershop in Waukon, Iowa in August of 2023. The 3.7% inflation rate at the time, way down from its peak, he said wasn't being reflected in his day-to-day experience. Things still cost a lot more.
Well, one thing is I was just over and had a meatball dinner and it cost me $16.
And even 5 months later, on the night of the Iowa caucuses, brothers Mike and Joe Stein, student athletes at the University of Iowa, agreed that higher prices were a big part of Trump's win.
I think people know that they had a better lifestyle with inflation and grocery money and gas money. The results speak for themselves.
And then there's the border. Trump's signature issue, starting all the way back in 2015, still resonating. From the Lothenberg brothers in Dubuque, Iowa in September.
Our border is just too easy to get into.
To Keith Christine, who I met waiting in line for a Trump rally during a thunderstorm in July.
The border and everything, all the crises have just doubled, and everything was better under the Trump administration.
New Hampshire and Iowa, both a long way from the southern border and the cities where migrants are getting bussed. But it doesn't mean that the record number of people people arriving aren't on voters' minds.
The invasion at our border has brought a number of enemies of America in, and our infrastructure is not well guarded.
And finally, I kept hearing over and over that Trump is the victim.
I feel like he's fighting for his right.
91 felony counts, but Colleen Decker, a pastor's wife in Ottumwa, Iowa, says they've only helped the former president.
I definitely think it has promoted him.
Trump's polling has only gotten stronger in the face of his indictments.
Bring on some more charges. They're going to indict a ham sandwich.
When I asked Trump supporters at the Iowa State Fair back in August why Trump had been indicted for the 4th time in Georgia for his alleged efforts to illegally overturn the election, voters like Jeff Lendrick, a school custodian, said they didn't know why and they didn't care.
Do you care that he's been indicted 4 times?
No, that just makes me want to vote for him more.
Why?
Because whoever the Democrats hate is who I like.
Trump's legal troubles aren't the only so-called injustice I kept hearing about. Many of them believe Trump's baseless assertion that the last election was stolen from him.
I think they cheated before, and I think they're going to try to do it again because they're a bunch of communists that don't care.
George Crosby, a retired truck driver and veteran from Fitzwilliam, New Hampshire, is just one of the many people who repeated Trump's unfounded claim that he actually won re-election in 2020.
President Trump, he is still president in my mind.
A man whose personality has seemingly overshadowed the rest of the Republican field.
A man who loves this country like I love my country.
And whose supporters are completely enamored.
When you see him hugging a flag and kissing it, it's real, it's true.
Alex is joining us now. So, Alex, we know that many of the former president's supporters inside the Republican Party, as you point out, very loyal to him. The question is,
if you noticed, the people that were interviewed that were against Trump were two very specific groups of people. They were African American or they were homosexual, flaming homosexual. Is that important to the argument? On the surface, not really. But the left uses identity politics to get what they want. All right. I honestly believe that those were paid actors, but that doesn't matter either. Here's the thing that I want you to pay attention to. And you may want to go back and actually play it over again, but not one of the people that were against Trump were able to give a reason as to why they would never vote for him. Not one. And if they did, it was a canned answer, like he's racist. Never once has anybody ever given a substantial, notable instance where Trump said or did anything racist. However, all of the people that were asked why they support Trump had long lists of viable reasons as to why they support Trump. He was good for the economy. My area had a lot more jobs while he was in office. My neighborhood was safer. What was another one? They had a lot stronger concrete reasons, and because of that, the support was more tangible. I also want to note that from a personal experience, I have not met one African American male after 4 years of Biden that supports Biden. Yet all of them support Trump. And many of them supported Trump before in 2016. Beyond the just being an absolute scumbag, who's a known pedophile, a known Ku Klux Klan member, who totally defaced the holiday of Easter with the trans identity. He has sold country or national secrets to Ukraine and China, and that has been proven. That has been proven. That's exactly what the whole Hunter Biden laptop thing actually was. And once the news got out, and even the left has admitted that the Hunter Biden laptop was real, once it got out that the Hunter Biden laptop was real, the cat was out of a bag. Nobody had to really dig much deeper to realize what was going on there. It wasn't really influence peddling. Right in front of us, Joe Biden handed over a F-35 to Ukraine. When I say that, people go, when did that happen? It supposedly crashed in the Midwest. They just never recovered the wreckage. The wreckage would have been a fireball about 50 stories tall. People would have been coming from all over the place to see what the hell happened. There was never a wreck. Here's what actually, or probably actually happened. The F-35 has drone capabilities, meaning the pilot puts on the helmet and can see everything that the plane's sensors are picking up. He can be sitting in his hotel room and flying the plane to its destination from the hotel room. And then he comes up with a cover story. Like, all of a sudden it just started accelerating and I couldn't control it anymore. In the 60s, that actually did happen a couple times with some of the test planes that the Air Force was playing with. And it's very possible that it did happen that way. But once again, there was no wreckage. Okay? There were a couple paid witnesses that were obviously paid to cover up the story. But it never actually happened that way. So, Joe Biden hands over basically top secret, top of the line, one of the most advanced fighters that we have, to a country that has never really been an ally. Okay? And then let's look at the countless dollars in weaponry that he left behind in Afghanistan. Literally handed over to terrorists. All right. Why would he do that? Oh, I don't know. To line his pockets? Because that's exactly what Joe Biden has done his entire career. Guys, there's only one opportunity to actually save this country. And that will be decided in November. The disgusting, demonic, fake president in the White House, Joe Let's Destroy America Biden, has declared Easter as Trans Visibility Day. This is a blatant slap in the face to the very foundations of America. That was founded, yes, on freedom of religion, but primarily founded on the freedom to practice a Protestant Christianity. This president, or I should say traitor, should be beheaded, not elected. We need to seriously rethink our country. I'm done with it. Okay? Last year they're marching down the street screaming, "We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children." Unchallenged. What I was expecting to see during those parades was semis running them over, because that's what they deserved. I was expecting combines shredding them in the streets, because that's what they deserved. People cutting them in half with automatic weapons, because that's definitely what they deserve. I'm done with this. Okay, I'm not anti-gay. I have friends that are gay, but they're respectful about it. They don't push their orientation on anybody. They don't expect you to gender you correctly. They even think the gender thing is, or the gendering is extremely stupid. In fact, one of them even pointed out to me that the whole discussion about sexuality in the workplace is so unprofessional, it should automatically be an HR offense, where you're talking to HR about whether or not you're going to keep your job. Instead, HR is bringing up what or how you want to be identified before you're even hired. There's something very wrong in this country. Satan has grabbed a hold of it long before this even started. In fact, this stuff would have never started if Satan hadn't grabbed a hold of it. It started in the 60s with the free love movement, the peace signs, the hippie movement, the rainbow everything. And unfortunately, those children of the 60s became the teachers in the colleges and primary and secondary schools around the country. The socialist ideals, the Democrat bullshit that should have never been allowed to breed. McCarthy was right. We should have been imprisoning communists from the beginning. Because they have destroyed this country. We can take it back, but we can't do it with a vote. We have to take it back by taking our kids out of school, and taking funding away from the public schools, removing funding from mental health facilities that are hiring woke counselors that are pushing gender ideology on people that are already vulnerable. We need to defund anything that the Democrat government of this country has their tentacles into, and never fund it again. They want to defund the police? Fine. We can police ourselves. I've got no problem with the idea of just shooting a burglar as he comes through a door. Or somebody that wants to squat in my home. Absolutely none. That's what defunding the police actually means. Their argument is we need to redirect it toward the foo-foo stuff of society, like mental health and everything that doesn't work. If somebody's already breaking in your house, you need to correct the situation before you talk about mental health. You're not going to get this counselor that has never actually been in a firefight to talk down a guy waving a gun at him. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see him try. However, you might be able to shoot a round into his knee and start negotiating after he realizes that he's not going to be able to run away. Because that's how you actually get things done. This was a little bit intense, and I'm sorry about that. But everything that Joe dumbass Biden has done ever since he vowed to destroy America when he was installed into the Oval Office has been pissing me off ever since he got into office. This is an election year, and I pray to God that every Democrat that has ever walked the earth burns in hell forever. So happy Easter, unless you're a Democrat. I'm Anatoly Anatolisova. This is Patriots Must Rise. Live free, die well, and I would say love your neighbor as Christ has loved you. But your neighbor's probably a Democrat. Therefore, put him in the wood chipper and make damn sure that the dogs or the pigs get to him before your nosy neighbor across the street starts to smell it.